Yoru is the worst Valorant agent in the game. He's loud, he's definitely proud, but his utility has left the community wanting more. We have buffs and reworks coming down the pipeline, but is Yoru worth the effort? Is he just fundamentally too bad to fix? Alright y'all, before we get into the video, I gotta remind you, as always, the like button, the subscribe button, and to ring that notification bell. If you don't, I'm gonna have to force you to sit through my presentation as to why I should voice the Tsaritsa in Genshin Impact. Because my campaign starts now. Hashtag Liz for Tsaritsa. Okay, so before Yoru mains come for my throat with a clip of their shoddy kill out of their ult, let's just all take a breather, okay? There is plenty to talk about with Yoru, especially with some incoming buffs that were recently announced. And we are coming up upon the 1-year anniversary of Yoru's release.
I'll return. Better than I was 21 Savage, Surprise.
Okay, but let's be honest with ourselves. Yoru has been nothing but mediocre since his release. Yoru is one of those agents that is really, really great in theory, but in practice is just not what we wanted him to be. I originally went into this piece with the intent of defending Yoru, but the reality is I can't do that. The more I looked into both the numbers and the anecdotal evidence, the more the criticisms of him looked incredibly valid. People's issues with him have been the same since his release because they're not something that can be easily hotfixed. They lie at the very heart of the agent. It's difficult to balance an agent when its core identity just isn't working. So we're going to get into what exactly feels so wrong about Yoru, but before we do that, first we gotta talk about he's not just a weak agent, he's actively shunned by the community. Like, people hate when you pick Yoru in ranked. In every single rank, Yoru has one of, if not the lowest pick rate. As you climb the ranks, he mostly gets lower and lower. His highest pick rate is in Iron, which was 6.9% when I wrote this. In Silver, his pick rate is 4.1%. In Immortal, it's 1.6, and in Radiant, it is 0.9. So, as the players get better, the less and less of Yoru we see. And maybe, like Sabrosa suggested in January, this should have been expected. So Yoru certainly isn't getting much love from the player base. The question is, why? The answer lies in his utility. Simply put, it's not consistent with what he is supposed to be. A sneaky duelist that is hard to pin down defensively. His blind and ultimates are good, yet slow tools that when used properly can be great assets, but where I find the most issues are his gate crash and his fake out. His gate crash / teleport, loud. Like, really loud. You can send it and get out of trouble, but that doesn't change the fact that it is so loud. It ruins the element of surprise, so the enemy team are able to change positions and handle the relocation. To be fair to Riot, in patch 2.06, they did change it so that, quote, the range at which the gate crash fragment is revealed from stealth decreased from 7 meters to 4 meters, but it is still loud and proud as it goes by. I'm sure we've all had those moments of just hearing it as it goes by and having to deal with it when we try to hold a site. And it sounds like wow behind you. That's a pretty good Yoru TP impression, no? Wow. His footsteps / fake out, really obvious. Like, when was the last time you fell for his fake footsteps? As we'll touch on later, the success of Yoru's utility depends on repetitive action towards a believing, aka gullible, team. Like, at this point, falling for his footsteps feels like you are outplaying yourself more than Yoru's outplaying you.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
All in all, Yoru is not the stealthy, sneaky agent that he is described to be. Japanese native Yoru is able to create gaps in reality itself so that he can sneak into enemy territory unnoticed. Strength and stealth allow him to take enemies by surprise. They will not even have time to understand where death came from. No, not really. So if he doesn't utilize stealth, what is he? In my opinion, a duelist, but not the duelist that he is supposed to be. I think this Reddit post explained it best that he's just not sneaky. Quote, Yoru's abilities don't perform well in what people would consider stealth. You can't get behind someone just with his abilities alone without them knowing and then getting sneaky kills. Instead, you can get behind them with them knowing you're there and overwhelm them with your flashes and ability to reposition quickly. Even though Yoru was intended to be able to get past enemy sightlines and flank, his current kit clearly shows that he is not supposed to be stealthy about it. In fact, his buffed flashes allow him to make some loud plays and get impact kills. To be clear, all isn't lost with Yoru, especially if you main him and have all his skills and timings down. Y'all constantly clap me in game. But not everyone is a skilled one trick. Some people just want to hop on and play Yoru like they would with some other agents without having to master him. Making him accessible to a wider audience is imperative if we're going to increase his pick rate and make him competitively viable. This is an agent that competes to be picked against Jett, Raze, Reyna, and Skye. It's just not close, folks. But do you know what is close? The holiday season. And we partner with our friends over at Predator Gaming to make sure all of your holiday needs are covered. Take it away, Danny.
Hey guys, Danny here from theScore esports, and this is my holiday gift guide. I'm looking to upgrade my monitor. It's a big decision because, let's be real, there's no point in having a high-power PC if your screen just sucks. That's why I've got my eyes set on the Predator 27-inch monitor from the XB3 series. Seriously, it doesn't get better than this for me. We're talking 2560 by 1440 resolution. The refresh rate comes in at 165 Hz and no space is wasted with its edge-to-edge screen. For me, there's just no point upgrading anything else in my setup until I get this monitor. It just makes everything else look better. A bit like me. I'm kidding. Not really.
But have no fear, because not all hope is lost. We got a fun little surprise on December 9th when a State of the Agents all about Yoru was released. In this, Riot said that, quote, Yoru becomes a master of deception through an increased output of disinformation from round to round. Yoru's payoff dream plays seem to only happen after rounds of conditioning the enemy, which can leave him ineffective for longer than we'd like. Then they shared just 2 of the changes that they are working on with Yoru. First, the fake out, aka the fake footsteps, will also now include a copy of Yoru running forward that is kind of like a Phoenix ult, quote, upon getting shot, it will wind up and explode, debuffing the enemies. And the second thing they talked about was his gate crash. It's quieter, it's faster, and now a player has an option to trigger a fake teleport from a distance with all the bells and whistles of a real one. Make no mistake, these seem like really big changes. Seems like Riot has been listening. To quote a character producer, John Gossicki, quote, as y'all experimented with him, many of you hit the conclusion that his outputs were not on par with the rest of the roster. We took the time to really look at what Yoru should be offering and give him more/different tools to bring to life an effective version of the fantasy y'all have latched onto. And that is everything they're willing to share now, which is exciting. And they said everything's subject to change, so hopefully that means things will get even better. Here's Ethos, who streams Valorant for NRG, and his thoughts on the TP buff.
So just having the fake TP isn't just about like, oh, like I can make fake TP plays now. It's about what that adds to the rest of his kit, and it adds a whole lot. And it adds a whole lot of more deception and makes him a lot stronger. And it's gonna make those sick Yoru TP outplay clips a lot more viable, because every time you do it now, the enemy's gonna have to think, like, is this guy actually doing it, or am I about to get like shot on the side of the head?
All in all, these are just proposed changes, and there's no guarantee that anything will be final. But if they look anything like this, there could be a lot to look forward to in the new year with Yoru. The concept of Yoru is great. Valorant needs a stealth agent, which is why they created him. Hopefully these changes can bring him more in line with their original vision of him. What do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts and insight, and honestly, I'm not trying to be facetious, because like, let's say you are a Yoru main, or you've been playing Valorant since the beta, or you're on the Riot dev team, whatever your experience with Valorant is, I would love to hear your opinion on this. Seriously. Either way, we have to wait until next year, friends. But who knows, maybe 2022 could be the year of Yoru. But until then, Happy New Year and stay beautiful. Is he just fundamentally too bad to fix? Some people are.
Nice.
I can fix him. No, you can't, girl. The question is, why? I'm Italian. Just so popular. Hello? It's not Yoru, I don't care. But have no fear, for not all hope is lost. I'm from the 1940s. I'm sorry.